before the relentless, frantic noise of the external world and the chaotic, fast-paced matrix of modern dating dictate your day, I need you to intentionally, deliberately stop. Right here, in this fiercely protected and sacred container of time, draw a deep, heavily anchoring breath into the very center of your physical being. Inhale slowly, pulling heavy, restorative, earthy air past your chest, all the way down into the quietest, most hidden chambers of your stomach and your root chakra. Hold it for a singular, echoing heartbeat, allowing that pure oxygen to gather the stagnant, anxious energy, the nervous anticipation, and the exhausting mental loops you unknowingly carry. Exhale, permanently dropping a massive boulder of unspoken frustrations, empty promises, and exhausting mental gymnastics from your tired shoulders. Completely unclench your jaw, releasing the visceral memory of words that lacked action and conversations that led absolutely nowhere. Soften your eyes, drop your shoulders, and let the physical floor entirely support your weight. You are fundamentally safe in this space. You are fiercely recognized for your radiant, raw essence and your absolute need for undeniable stability. We are currently standing at a staggering, intensely complex, and deeply revealing energetic intersection. The date is May 2. This is absolutely not a day for casual observation, and it is certainly not a day for playing small, ignoring the physical reality of your connections, or retreating into the familiar, suffocating shadows of your old, ungrounded fantasies. This is a day of absolute, breathtaking, and terrifyingly beautiful materialization of your emotional truth. On this highly specific, mathematically precise point in the cosmos, we are being ignited by a profoundly powerful, dual-layered astrological alignment. Today, we are experiencing the absolute, intense peak of the full moon in the transformative, psychic waters of Scorpio, and simultaneously, Mercury, the swift planet of our mind, our communication, and our spoken words, crosses the threshold into the slow, deliberate, unshakable earth of Taurus. These are not just distant celestial bodies moving silently in the dark, cold void of space. These are literal, energetic codes, massive, dual-action software updates for your human experience, being downloaded directly into your nervous system, your throat chakra, and your relational blueprint. They are completely, irrevocably rewriting your internal standards for love, communication, trust, and physical consistency. Let us deeply, courageously examine what is actually happening within your spirit as the ultimate, purging climax of the Scorpio moon merges completely with the heavy, unmovable, truth-telling energy of Mercury in Taurus. Scorpio is the energy of absolute, raw, unfiltered emotional truth. It is the psychic detective that refuses to be lied to. Taurus is the earth, it is the builder, it is the pure, unfiltered, primal energy of the physical realm, of tangible worth, and of actions that speak infinitely louder than words. For a very, very long time, you have been operating in a state of exhausting relational dissonance. Because of your deep, beautifully hopeful heart, your profound capacity for empathy, and your intense desire to see the best in people, you have lived in a chronic, agonizing state of accepting potential over reality. You have taken your fiery, beautiful, completely valid need for stability, especially your craving for consistency, reliability, and physical presence, and you have relentlessly watered it down, sacrificing your peace of mind for partners who were brilliant with their words but entirely bankrupt in their actions. You have desperately, constantly policed your own need for physical proof. You have felt a deep, instinctive flare of anxiety when a partner's words did not match their behavior, only to immediately gaslight yourself, convincing your mind that you were just overthinking or being too demanding of their time. You have gone to absolute war against your own practical intuition to defend the comfort of a romantic partner who fed you beautifully constructed, poetic excuses, swallowing your own profound discomfort, your own entirely justified need to see them actually show up, just to protect the fragile, toxic ecosystem of a connection that existed purely in text messages and future faking. You took your primal, vital need for security, your beautiful capacity to build a lasting, terrestrial empire of love, and you locked it in a heavy, dark, underground box. Because someone in your past convinced you that asking for consistency was too traditional, that wanting a solid plan was killing the vibe, or that expecting them to keep their word was simply too much pressure. You fell deeply, tragically into the devastating habit of performing the go-with-the-flow partner. You became fiercely addicted to the noble, exhausting, completely self-destructive crusade of surviving on the breadcrumbs of beautiful conversations that never materialized into real, lived experiences. You convinced yourself that if you were just endlessly understanding of their delays, if you never demanded a clear label or a solid commitment, if you were just infinitely patient and endlessly forgiving of their flakiness, you could finally secure the solid, unconditional love you so desperately craved. You confused the absolute exhaustion of this endless, unwinnable mental gymnastics with the feeling of being a deeply spiritual, unconditional lover. You thought that because you were not starting arguments about their lack of effort, because you were not demanding a tangible return on your emotional investment, it must mean you were highly evolved. You mistook the suffocating, anxious waiting game of your own unfulfilled physical needs for a deep, unexplainable soulmate connection. But as the profound, transformative energy of this May 2 transit hits its absolute zenith, as the emotionally piercing peak of the Scorpio moon illuminates the darkest corners of your relational history, and Mercury drops heavily, like an anchor, into the solid ground of Taurus, the dizzying fog of your ungrounded fantasies is suddenly, violently, and beautifully burning away. This alignment is sparking a massive, irreversible spiritual grounding directly within your romantic core. It is the sudden, striking, physical realization of the sovereign builder who finally stops accepting blueprints and demands to see the bricks. You are experiencing a literal, physical shockwave of practical clarity. The heavy, intoxicating, deeply addictive illusion of the soul connection that cannot survive in the real world is shattering into a million unrecoverable pieces. You are suddenly seeing the past, the toxic dynamics, the endless swallowing of your common sense, and the agonizing lack of true, reliable partnership with a stark, almost blinding realism. You are looking at the people who fed you, symphonies of empty promises, and for the first time, you do not feel the desperate urge to decode their mixed signals. You do not feel the heavy, clawing responsibility to be their emotional anchor while they continuously float away whenever real effort is required. You are finally deeply understanding that your vital, brilliant need for consistency, yes, even your demand for boring, reliable, everyday effort was never meant to be silenced just to keep someone else comfortable while they continuously chose to live in the realm of endless excuses. This is the absolute, permanent death of the potential junkie within your romantic blueprint. You are finally dropping the heavy, rusted mask of pretending you do not need physical, tangible proof of love. You are taking your immense, beautiful, terrifying power back from the realm of empty words. You are finally realizing that true, sovereign love requires the absolute, terrifying courage to demand that the internal emotional depth perfectly matches the external physical reality. It requires the bravery to let your voice speak with the unshakable weight of a mountain, stating your boundaries without wavering, even if your voice is quiet, even if it disrupts their comfortable lack of accountability, even if it means watching the entirely wrong connection wither away when deprived of the oxygen of your endless patience. And the universe is not just breaking your illusion, it is immediately, beautifully rushing in to fortify your spirit with a tidal wave of unimaginable, fiercely protective, grounded earth energy. Because exactly as you drop the mask of accepting the bare minimum, the skies open up and deliver the pure, undeniable, heavy reality of Taurus fused with the psychic lie detector of Scorpio. Listen to the sound of my voice and let these words sink into the deepest, most permanent layers of your physical bones and your subconscious mind. The Scorpio moon is doing the profound work of pulling all the hidden lies and self-deceptions out of the shadows, while Mercury in Taurus is handing you the magnificent, golden gavel of undeniable truth, demanding that from this moment on, words must carry the absolute weight of physical action. For so long, you have operated in a state of suspended animation, waiting for the reality to match the rhetoric. You genuinely believed that love meant giving them endless chances to finally do what they said they would do. This Taurus-Scorpio frequency is stepping powerfully into your energetic field, placing its warm, heavy, incredibly steady hands firmly on your shoulders, looking you dead in the eye and whispering a profound, ultimate truth into your soul. Your need for consistency is not a weakness. It is a profound compass of self-worth. Your demand for actions over words is not an inconvenience. It is your absolute divine right. True, authentic, profoundly aligned love is not supposed to require the assassination of your physical nervous system. You are currently undergoing a radical, highly accelerated grounding upgrade. You are being recalibrated to handle the intense, beautiful, heavy frequency of true, unfiltered, reliable devotion. You find yourself suddenly, inexplicably repulsed by the fast-talking, charming, deeply inconsistent dynamics that you used to find intoxicating. The idea of analyzing a confusing text message for hours just to find a shred of hope suddenly feels profoundly insulting to your intelligence and your spirit. You are looking at the confusing, emotionally and physically unavailable partners you used to accept, and you are feeling an unshakable, elevated intolerance for anything less than absolute, burning devotion backed by rock-solid daily action. This is not you becoming rigid. This is you becoming real. This is you stepping into the absolute, sovereign luxury of your own unapologetic standards. You are realizing that you do not want a partner who requires you to live in a state of anxious waiting. You want a partner who is thrilled by the peace of building a reliable life with you. You want a connection that feels like standing in a solid, beautifully constructed, warm home after a lifetime trapped in a beautiful but completely unlivable house of cards. You are demanding, with the quiet, terrifying, immovable confidence of a fully awakened soul, a love that is practical, courageous, fiercely protective, intensely sensual, and entirely free of future faking. And because you are finally demanding it, because you are no longer accepting the invisible crumbs of what could be, the universe is expanding your magnetism to an entirely unprecedented, deeply terrestrial level. You are quite literally becoming a walking, breathing, undeniable magnet for high-vibrational, fully realized, securely attached, deeply reliable love. You are calling in a partner whose actions speak so loudly you never have to question their words. You are calling in an equal, a builder for your builder, a grounded creator for a grounded creator, a sovereign anchor for a sovereign anchor. You are calling in someone who has fought their own internal battles with inconsistency, conquered their own fear of commitment, and is now standing completely whole, capable of matching your deepest Scorpio emotional intensity with the unshakable, comforting physical presence of Taurus. Someone who looks at your need for security and does not call you demanding, but instead steps closer, takes your hand in the physical world, and proves to you every single day that they are exactly who they say they are. This energy is not just about romance. It is about the absolute convergence of all forms of your material and spiritual power. As you clear the dense, heavy suspension of waiting from your heart, you are simultaneously unblocking massive rivers of financial prosperity, physical health, and unshakable confidence that were waiting for you to simply feel worthy of tangible results. You will notice, over the next few days, that opportunities, people, and serendipitous moments of sheer, grounded alignment will start arriving at your doorstep with physical certainty. A sudden urge to end an inconsistent dynamic, an unexpected breakthrough in how you value your own time, a brilliant wave of raw, practical clarity that demands to be honored. You will feel a radiant, heavy warmth expanding in your chest, a deep, cellular, knowing that the universe is no longer teaching you through the anxiety of unfulfilled potential. It is now teaching you through the deep peace of reliable reality. You ask yourself, why did I ever accept the ghost of a relationship when I was born with the capacity to build a tangible empire of love? Why did I let the fear of losing their words convince me to hold on to people who never actually gave me their presence? Do not dare to judge the past versions of yourself for the ungrounded illusions they endured. They did the absolute best they could with the unhealed wounds of scarcity they carried. They were desperately trying to find hope in a world that had incorrectly taught them that a beautiful lie was better than a boring truth. I want you to deeply, profoundly, and entirely forgive yourself right now. I want you to let the sound of my voice be the final, absolute permission you win to completely release the heavy burden of your anxious, waiting history. Let your physical voice vibrate in the actual air around you. Do not just think this, actually speak it out loud. Use the Taurus energy of your throat to give these words physical mass in the material world. Speak it out loud with the force of an unshakable mountain. I completely and unconditionally forgive myself for accepting potential instead of reality. I forgive myself for fighting silent, exhausting mental wars, trying to decode words that were completely empty of action. I forgive myself for pouring my sacred, deeply loyal energy into people who refuse to build a solid foundation with me. I forgive myself for believing I had to be infinitely accommodating to be worthy of a physical commitment. I completely release the heavy chains of my past illusions. I completely sever all energetic cords to the people who needed me to stay ungrounded so they could avoid accountability. I call all of my vital, brilliant, practical, fiercely reliable energy back to my own body and root chakra. I am finally, deeply, and irrevocably open to the absolute abundance of safe, tangible, intensely loyal, and unconditionally consistent love. Breathe that massive, world-altering declaration deeply into your physical cells. Feel the actual, physical shift in the room. Feel the air become incredibly dense and supportive. Feel the chronic, anxious hovering permanently, leaving your nervous system. You have absolutely not lost a single ounce of your romance by letting go of the illusions. By walking away from the false comfort of empty words, by stepping directly into the grounding earth of Taurus and the deep truth of Scorpio, you have just freed up a massive, staggering amount of energy that is now rushing entirely into the physical manifestation of your absolute highest timeline. You are no longer being difficult when you draw a hard boundary around your time. You are being highly sovereign. You are not being too materialistic when you demand physical effort. You are simply aligning your relational standards with the undeniable reality of your immense inherent value. What you are experiencing as this transit peaks is a profound, incredibly necessary, and wildly explosive grounding of your soul. You are crossing the burning bridge from the timeline of the anxious dreamer directly into the timeline of the sovereign, grounded builder. You will be tested in the coming weeks. The ghosts of your old, ungrounded habits will likely try to drift back in. An ex or toxic dynamic might reach out with beautifully worded, deeply poetic texts offering no concrete plans, expecting the old you to accommodate their lack of effort. Someone might present a situation where the easiest path is to ignore the lack of action and get high on the fantasy again. They will want to see if the easily manipulated version of you is still available. When they do this, you will experience the ultimate victory of your new frequency. You will look at the beautiful words, the future faking, the expectation to live on hope, and feel absolutely nothing but a calm, elevated, completely untouchable, deeply grounded silence. You will see the lack of substance for exactly what it is. You will simply, elegantly, and fiercely hold your ground. Because in the magnificent kingdom of Taurus, your physical boundary is a stone fortress. You will decisively close the door. By refusing to step backward into the illusion, by refusing to re-enter the exhausting waiting room you just escaped, you are sending a massive shockwave into the universe. You are declaring with unshakable finality that your physical reality is entirely non-negotiable. The universe, powered by the incredible, stabilizing vitality of Mercury in Taurus and the deep, truth-seeking knowing of the Scorpio moon, will respond by handing you the keys to the kingdom. It will bring love that does not require translating mixed signals, where your consistency is a wand of magnificent manifestation. You are completely ready. You have spent lifetimes in anxious waiting and ungrounded suffering, preparing for this exact shift in consciousness. The brutal, necessary lessons of your past have successfully forged an impenetrable shield of radical self-respect around your spirit. Take one final, incredibly deep, anchoring breath. Place both hands firmly and warmly over your physical heart, feeling the beat of life within your chest. Close your eyes. Feel the steady, reliable pulse of your grounded life force. Feel the potential of every practical need you suppressed. That vibration is your ultimate truth. That physical sensation is your magic. That unshakable standard is your true, permanent weapon of light. Everything you have experienced up until this exact moment, every agonizing hour spent analyzing why their actions didn't match their beautiful words, was merely the turbulent, necessary bridge to get you exactly here, to this profound realization of your staggering power to demand that love takes physical form. This beautiful, glowing foundation is entirely yours, open to broadcast your most consistently authentic soul to this universe. If these words have successfully bypassed the anxious patterns of your mind and spoken directly to the earthy wisdom of your bones, if you have felt the physical shift in your body and the powerful anchoring of your energy, do not let this wildly powerful energetic window close without claiming it. Like this exact message, let the physical action of tapping the screen be a deliberate, grounded, silent signature on your new contract. You are bravely declaring that you are finally ready to receive undeniable consistency. Share your journey, your release, and your deep, brilliant realizations in the comments below. Declare your brand new, unshakable standard. Use your actual living words. Tell the universe exactly what you are no longer available to tolerate, and exactly what kind of fierce, reliable, action-oriented love you are calling in. Let the physical manifestation of your typed words act as an unbreakable, energetic anchor for your timeline of emotional sovereignty. There is an immense, world-shifting power in actively witnessing each other's profound grounding. We are finally realizing that the seemingly solitary path of finding our physical worth is not a lonely journey, but a massive movement of elevating, grounded souls. Your highly specific story, your unfiltered words of raw standards, and your demand for reality might be the exact vibrational key that someone else desperately needs to encounter today. Your newly found courage to demand action might be the exact frequency required to help them drop their heavy burden of waiting and speak their own physical boundaries into existence. Subscribe to this exact frequency of absolute relational grounding. Keep your spirit beautifully tethered to this elevated, practical vibration as we bravely navigate these paradigm-shifting cosmic waves together. Now, take one more intentional breath. Breathe in the crystal-clear, solid reality of this present moment. Fill your magnificent human vessel with the vibrant, golden energy of your new beginning. Exhale the tired echoes of your past illusions. Blow those exhausting memories of empty promises away. You are completely, beautifully, fiercely sovereign in the physical world. The expansive, abundantly reliable reality of your tangible love life is finally here. Welcome home to the unshakable foundation of your own greatness.